Hello, I am Furmius, here to interview an artist that I was actually getting involved and invested into. This is LME, and actually, what does that stand for?
LME, spelled L-M-E, stands for lilmarkerelectro.
It's nice, lilmarkerelectro.
Yes, it is.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, let's get started with this interview.
Sounds good.
This is a lot of questions that actually I'm going to go tackle along with not only what made you get inspired the music that you made, but also the way you make them, the way you do your processes and all of them, and the way how you want to see yourself later on in the future and how you make all these music, but also your plan on what you want to do with LME.
Okay.
So, let's start off with the basics. What inspired you to make music?
What inspired me to make music was pretty much my love and fascination of music.
Okay.
Growing up, I listened to music all the time. My parents basically raised me with classical music, and by the time I was in elementary school, I had listened to music from the 80s to the 70s, even the 60s.
Oh, it's a good decades for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents love the classics, and so I guess you could pretty much say I grew up listening to the classics.
That's great, man. That's a good way to start off, to think of get inspired of to make music and stuff.
Yes. And
I personally, those are one of the best styles of song music, pretty much of anything, any kind. So let's actually thinking of the way this music starts and the way you actually start thinking of this. What is the music you heard while growing up? What is the one song that you, or artist or band that really stuck to you that was okay, I gotta make music? What was that one band that really made you think of it?
That one band, that one artist, who's still one of my personal favorites, has to be the Beatles.
Okay.
My dad would play me these CDs of the Beatles, driving me to school, driving me to even, I think, my daycare. That's how long he's, shown me that music from the Beatles. And that band really stuck with me. And I would listen. He'd play these compilation albums, right? Which are songs taken from the span of their whole career. So I never knew the specific albums that they were on, or when they came out. All I remembered was the sound of the song itself, and the music and the lyrics, and that's what stuck with me. So yeah, the Beatles were my number one artist growing up.
That's cool. That's good. What a interesting. Well, that definitely one of the great bands to get inspired by, because they are revolutionary.
They are very influential.
They be very influential to a lot, and I'm glad that you saw this is gonna be your inspiration to do music.
Yes.
And actually, the way you actually start to make your music, the process of doing all that style that you do from these last albums that I listened to and all that. What makes me wonder is that, do you start with the lyrics, melody, or something else when writing a song that you do, or the projects that you do?
Oh, good question. I have to say that it differs on many levels. Sometimes I start with the music, right? I hear what the song sounds like in my head, and I need to get it out. And I use, my software, GarageBand, for now Logic Pro, to basically craft the song. Other times, I write the lyrics first, and it's pretty much basically just like writing a poem, right? You have the verses, and I like to rhyme, so I try to do that a lot of time with my songs. But it really just differs depending on just what I'm thinking of or what I feel like.
Right. That's another question actually based on the way you do music. Is that
yes.
Are there any unusual techniques or rituals that you use while creating your music? Is there a type of form that you do other than I don't know, for example, you think of a little beat that goes and then you just write it down, or when you actually process it to make this sound that you do, the unique sounds that you do?
Ooh, another good question. A lot of the times before, I want to say it was the beats that I'd get down, because I feel like the beats, like the drums and whatnot, are the most important part of the song. That's what your rhythm is based off of. That's what your melody is based off of. That's what the patterns are based off of. So if I can get a beat down, right, and it doesn't have to be anything too extraordinary, it can just be very simple, I can make it extraordinary later on, right, as I'm writing, as I'm crafting the song. But it I gotta say, once again, it pretty much just comes from my head, and that's how I, craft these songs. I will say a lot of my songs are inspired by songs that I have heard, like growing up with the classics, 15 plus years ago, and that's basically what I do.
That's good. It's a really interesting way of thinking it out.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
And actually, another question about creative processes is that while doing all these while thinking of your music and all that, and working on the process and all that, but do you ever deal with creative blocks? And if you do, how do you overcome them?
Oh, I do indeed. And it hurts. Not gonna lie, when that happens, when there's suddenly just this giant wall that's pretty much blocking me from going any further, because I quite simply cannot think of what to do, what to make, what to write. And when that happens, what I actually do is I listen back to, music that I have, that I've created, and also music from my favorite artists. And when I do that, a lot of times it actually gets me out of that creative block. But I do experience that block a lot of times. But at least I know how to get through it.
And once you overcome them, you completely that.
Yeah.
That also reminds me, are there moments where you're doing projects and all of a sudden you just think that it's just not worth completing? Has there moments where you just gave up on a project in general? Or?
Yes, there have been. There have been times when there's something that I'm creating, something that I'm crafting, where I just don't think it's gonna come out the way I wanted it. And it's funny to say that, because I'm not a prophet or anything. I can't predict the future. But if you know what you want and you have a feeling for what you want, you could kind of predict what might come out of that. But there's been times where I just completely stopped and gave up and just was like, I cannot work on this anymore because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You still got a lot. You got some really good catalogs that you actually have been looking through on your Spotify.
Thank you.
Which actually kind of leads me to now this on actually explaining on some of the projects that you've done so far, the albums that you released. Which actually, I was gonna say this. Can you tell us about your latest release on the one you just posted on all your streaming services? It's My Time Right Now.
Ah, yes, it's my time right now. 14 tracks, about 39 minutes. I wrote, recorded, produced, and created that album in a span of 3 months in 2020. Yeah, that was during the whole pandemic craze.
Right, and almost like the starting point where a lot of people were starting to get out too.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, New Fear song came in.
Yes.
After those creative process that we talked about, I'm actually going to get more into the fun and personal aspects of your music that you like doing. So,
nice.
Actually, I'm going to go through your catalog right now here on Spotify.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Well, what's one of the songs that you really enjoyed making? And this is actually from one of your singles, which I'll actually list down right now, which is My Dance Party Anthem, LMA City, Funny Little Foxes, Laptop Lover, and Techno Happiness.
Those are all really good creations. I want to say they were all fun to make, but if there was one that I had to choose that I would say was the most fun to make, it would have to be Funny Little Foxes.
Oh.
And the reason being is because it's one of those songs where it's meant to be silly. It's not a serious song. It's a song about foxes.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was very catchy. It reminded me of I'm a big fox fan.
You are.
Yeah, and just listening to that music made me like, wow, it just makes me want to dance with these little foxes.
That's what I was picturing when I was writing it. Right. Dancing, running through the fields with these foxes.
Exactly. Like they're like little friends or something.
Exactly. And that song holds a very special place in my heart because I wrote it for a friend of mine who I've been friends with since high school. And he also loves foxes, and I pretty much, the reason I wrote the song was because of him.
That's nice.
Yes.
Wow,
That's one of the songs. That's the song I had the most fun with.
that's great. I'm glad, like, even people inspire you to make music.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
actually, I was just gonna get into like, what is like a song that really like actually like kind of stuck out to you, like in like your personal life, other than like, just like the fun is there's like other like an album that I'll actually bring up right now, like LME or It's My Time right now. It's like the latest album. What was like the, I guess like the personal aspects that really like thought up to make those albums in the first place?
I see. I like your question. There are albums and singles and EPs, just creations in general that were inspired or taken from things that I've experienced personally. In terms of albums, the ones that I have released, I really can't say much about their inspiration or their like anything that I've taken from like personal life. But I will add that I have several singles that were inspired or taken from, like, the lyrics are about things that I've experienced in my personal life. One of them being Laptop Lover. Now, Laptop Lover is a song that I released in 2022, which I wrote and produced in 2022, actually, near the end of 2022. And it's a happy sounding song, but in reality, it's a pretty sad song. It's about a guy who loves his laptop and who gets all his enjoyment from his laptop, who does nothing, who literally just lives his life with his laptop.
I see. So it's like almost like a dystopian song.
Yes.
Like, right.
He wants to eat dinner with the laptop. He wants his laptop to find him love. He wants his laptop to love him. And at the end of the song, basically the person singing is just like realizing, wow, all of my friends, they have someone to be with, and all I have to be with is this technology, is this machine, which I call my friend.
Right.
Which actually, that's not really based on me, but it's like a little idea about loneliness.
Right.
That's
expanding it more to a broader audience that like will probably find more relatable, or like just a wake up call in general.
Exactly.
That's a good way of seeing it. Yeah.
And I should add too, it was inspired by the pandemic, because all we were doing was just being on our laptops. If you think about it, we were Zooming on our classes. All we could do was just be on our laptops because we were all quarantined. All enclosed.
There. Yeah.
That's another inspiration.
That's actually, I was actually gonna bring up a little bit more like on the influence, I guess, in some way of like what really like, but not only influence on just you, but in how your music is gonna influence others in some way. Like, for example, like what's like one of your hope that your music impacts to like the listeners?
That's a very good question. Very, very good question. All I can think of right now actually is, listen, I'm just a guy who's making music. I'm just a guy who's making songs just for fun, And even if there's songs that deal with things that I've dealt with, in personal experience, it's really just me letting out what I've experienced through these songs. I'm not really trying to make an impact, I guess. Like, I mean, if you love my songs, great. If you don't love my songs, if you hate my songs, great. It's just it's really just me doing this for fun. But if someone somehow finds a meaning, or somehow finds one of my songs, like impactful, I love that,
Right.
Find anything you can to, actually, like that sticks to you, which I think is a good thing in life.
That's why, who knows, maybe you gonna get an audience that will really get connected to you.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about
You'll
that.
never know. You'll never know.
Really? Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah, it's just,
we'll see.
And that actually like reminds me too of like another question that I have, which is basically kind of this same. Now that you do make music fun, actually.
Yes.
Is like your projects. Are there like you have actually a lot of them hidden, or you have actually some that you want to bring them out someday? Because I noticed that some of these are all from 2022.
Yes. So you're noticing the release dates of
that was what I was gonna say. Like, are there some that are still like around that same era, or like there are more coming out?
Oh, yes. That's all. Yes, I have quite a lot stored in my drive, my collection of songs that I've created. Since I want to add, since 2015. I've been creating tunes since 2015.
Wow.
And it's 2025 now. So this month will be 10 years. As a matter of fact, when this releases, it will mark 10 years since I've started creating music. But I do, to answer your question, yeah, I have a lot of story.
That's good. I'm looking very forward for the anniversary coming up, because who knows what you're hiding, you know? What you got stored, what you got cooking.
Ooh, I've been cooking. I've been cooking. Now that you brought that up, when this comes out, I would have released 2 albums. Yes, both on Fridays, not the same Friday, but on Fridays of this month of June. And I'm excited to see how you like them.
I really do. I'm actually wanting to take this fans. I'm actually really excited.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yes, I'm very glad too. All right, so now that we learned quite a lot of your kind of the future coming up, that also kind of reminds me of some of the similar projects that I noticed that you've been trying to do. Well, for example, when I noticed in your catalog, you had a seasonal kind of theme, holiday themed single called LME's Christmas Melody.
Aha!
And actually, that kind of reminds me, like, would you like do more based on holidays?
I think so. Because holidays are a big part of my life, especially. Whether they're holidays from this country, holidays from my religion, or holidays just the ones that bring family together. I think so. I will.
Well, that's great. Even if you want to start to I guess if we ended up giving us updates about it, where should we learn to start to know more about the projects we're doing?
If you want to know about all my updates and what I have going on, and any announcements, just follow my Instagram.
All right.
It's lilmarkerelectro at lilmarkerelectro.
And would you be doing websites or something like that, or just for now it's just the Instagram?
For now, it's just my Instagram. I'm able to say a lot on that platform. I do live shows. I'll do recordings. I do my monthly posts, my announcements, and yeah. If you want to just keep track of what I have going on and what I've released so far, follow my Instagram.
Hopefully we'll do that.
Yes.
All right, now let's get to some of the actual. More of some fun and personal questions, just you in general. We gotta know more about the Mr. Marco, the man, the delightful dude.
LME the man. Yes.
The delightful dude, as they also know him as. I was gonna ask you a few questions, what is what's one song that you always is on your playlist right now, or what's the playlist, your go-to playlist, anything in general?
My go-to playlist as of right now. It's on Spotify, and it's a playlist that I labeled "It's Going to Be a Great Day." That's the name of the playlist, and it's pretty much just a bunch of songs that I love and enjoy, ranging from as far back as the 50s to as early as now.
Oh, cool.
And they're just basically songs that make me feel good, that bring a smile to my face, and pretty much just a song or songs that make me feel like, oh, it's going to be a great day. That's the playlist I have right now. I don't have. I made that on my own.
That's great. I like that. That. I'll definitely would like to tune into that playlist for my days. What about if you could jam with any artist, living or dead, what would it be?
That's a hard question.
There's a lot of them. The Wall explains it a lot too. All these artists that you love.
The Wall explains it. Yes, The Wall explains it. I have. This is the artists that I'm currently, really enjoying right now. It's the Monkees, but this side is a bunch of artists that are my favorites, I guess you could say. I collect records. I have a record player, and they say that records don't sound as good as streaming, but I beg to differ, because records, I think, sound more original. They sound more.
Yeah, they do. They add more of the audio's there in some way. I think it hits harder more than streaming and all that.
Yeah. Plus, you can see it turn.
That's fun.
And I like things that spin. I like things that spin.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I have my own big collection too. It's fun. Actually, that also reminds me of what is a surprising fact about you in general, outside of the music, outside of everything. What makes you you?
Ooh, what's one thing that no one knows about me? Well, I guess I'm not really a special person. I'm not that unique. I can't really think of anything that I guess that makes me me. I mean, I play video games, I watch movies, I always listen to music. I cannot go through a day without listening to music. I need to listen to music. I listen to music in the morning and before I go to bed, even when I'm in the restroom,
Right.
I listen to music.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing thing. It's like breathing. I need to breathe to survive. I need to listen to music to survive. So I mean, I guess that's it.
That's
music.
100% that's how I am too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's why I need music all the time to
that's
kind of
good.
do my
That's
regular
great.
thing.
That's great.
Yeah, and I think that's what
I love that.
I really enjoyed, like the style that you do, and obviously, like hopefully anybody else like who's listening to LME is that he brings a sound that the everyday person can enjoy, you know. And I hope like you expand more of that, and actually embrace that more in some way. And I can see that happening someday. But
Really?
obviously, yeah, that's just how artists go. It's like, and when you think of music, people do it for fun. Maybe you're doing it for fun, but in reality, you'll never know where it can go to.
True. I am doing it just for fun.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe sometime in the future, I might actually, have, impactful messages, in my creations that people could relate to. But as of now, I mean, it's pretty much just fun and fancy free.
Yeah, it's all great. You can start from somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Margaret, that's all we got for today. And thank you for doing this interview with me.
Yes.
It's actually one of my first ones, and I hope that
You did a great job interviewing.
Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate it.
Yes. And I'd like to add, you can listen to me on Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes.
That's good. And what are you also on SoundCloud too, or like YouTube?
SoundCloud, I do have music on SoundCloud, but I don't release any other music on that platform. Just because I guess I've moved on.
All right. What about YouTube?
You know what? I do have plans for releasing things on YouTube, but I'm not sure if I'll go through with it because it's a bit complex.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Marcus. Yeah. Hope you get ready for those projects. And
Thank you.
This
was amazing.
This was amazing too. Great.
Thank you.